Hey everybody, it's Caleb Crewy with Caleb Crewy Reports and Predicts. Today we're going to go over the Nevada Democrat uh, presidential primary, well, there's a caucus in Nevada, the South Carolina primary, and some general election polling. So this will be my third video on the presidential election, and so I've created a playlist. So if you just want to watch about the current presidential election for 2020. It will be a playlist with just the videos pertaining to that. As well, I'm on Facebook now, and so you can go like my page, Caleb Crewy Reports and Predicts, and I'll be putting out mainly I share my videos there, but I'll also be doing some special content in the future there that's exclusive to that. So if you guys want to check that out as well, it'd be greatly appreciated. And also, if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, it would be greatly appreciated. So, what we're going to go in today, we're going to start here in Nevada. Remember, you have to have 15% to get delegates. So, right now, we're just going over the CNN poll and the USA Today Suffolk. And the USA Today poll has Joe Biden at 23, Bernie Sanders at 14, Elizabeth Warren at 19. Kamala Harris at 4, Pete Buttigieg at 3, Tom Steyer at 3, Andrew Yang at 3, Cory Booker at 2. Everybody is at 1 or below. And then the latest CNN poll that came out this weekend has Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden tied at 22, Elizabeth Warren at 18, Kamala Harris at 5, Pete Buttigieg at 4, Tom Steyer at 4, Andrew Yang at 3, Cory Booker at 2. Everybody at 1 or less. This is really good news for Bernie Sanders because from the USA Today poll, he increased his majority his numbers by 8 points. Biden gained a point, and Elizabeth Warren fell a point. Which this is kind of an outlier for Elizabeth Warren, or maybe it's a new trend because she's kind of slowed down in some of her gradual inching up. So that what makes this poll interesting. Again, Kamala Harris is definitely underperforming. She's from the neighboring state of California, so she should have a lot of name ID in Nevada, and her and Pete Buttigieg and Tom Steyer and Andrew Yang are all within the same range there, and even Cory Booker. So Kamala Harris, again, another bad poll for her. And so let's go over to South Carolina now. This is part of Joe Biden's kind of firewall, if you will. The southern states in the Democrat primary feature a large African American population and an electorate, and that's where Joe Biden is actually getting most of his support from right now. And so this is another just really good poll for him. We're just going to go over the CNN poll because it's the only one in September. And so it has Joe Biden at 37, Bernie Sanders at 16, at 11, Elizabeth Warren at 16, Kamala Harris at 3, and Pete Buttigieg at 4, Cory Booker at 2, Tom Steyer at 3, Beto O'Rourke at 2, and everybody's at 1 or less. So this is really good news for Joe Biden. Here he's in a key southern state that is going to start his southern firewall, and he's at 21, winning by 21 points right now. Bad news for Bernie Sanders because he's under that 15% mark, so he needs to keep inching his numbers up. He needs to get above that 15% mark. For Kamala Harris, this is just awful. If you look at two earlier polls from August, she was at 12 in one and 7 in the other, and she's down to 3. I mean, she's losing to Pete Buttigieg right now in South Carolina. That's just really bad news. He doesn't do that well among African Americans, and that's the block that she's been trying to get. So this is just really bad news for her. And Kamala Harris, like I've been saying, she's in some trouble unless she can find a way to restart her campaign. She's probably done at this point because she's not. There's no state that she's doing well in. And unlike Pete Buttigieg, who is doing decent in New Hampshire and really well in Iowa, she doesn't have that. And for Bernie Sanders, like I said, this isn't the best poll, but I do think he will get to the 15. For Elizabeth Warren, it's okay. For Joe Biden, this is exactly what he wanted. I mean, he's down from the CBS poll that in August, but he's still overall doing really well uh, in South Carolina. Then some just general election matchups, and we're going to go here. Um, so we're going to do uh, this is from September 18th, and so we're just from Florida. We're not going to go over the California polls because California is a very liberal state. Trump is beating Harris by 4 points, 52 to 48. Trump is beating Bernie Sanders by 1 point in Florida. He's tied with Elizabeth Warren. And in this particular poll, he's beating Joe Biden by a point. And then in the general election, he's beating Beto O'Rourke by 3 points, tied with Kamala Harris, up on Bernie by 5. I mean, losing to Bernie by 5. Warren is over Trump by 2, Biden by 8. And then these general election polls, these are national polls, and it shows Biden, Sanders, Warren all beating him big, and Kamala Harris up by 2. And then if we come over here, these are also some general election polls, a little different. Biden +1, Warren is beating Trump by 2, Trump's beating Sanders by 2, and Harris by 4. And then Trump and Biden from Rasmussen, Trump up by 4. Some of this stuff, these general elections, the national polls don't matter at all, but it does show you where the country is. These Florida numbers are very important. Florida is a key state that Trump won, and it is showing him tied with Elizabeth Warren, but beating everybody else. So that's good news for Elizabeth Warren. But also overall good news for the president. Um, Kamala Harris is just definitely underperforming Trump, and so this is kind of really bad for her, right? Because it just shows Kamala Harris. Everybody thought she was going to be a capable politician. She was going to be a challenger. I remember after that first debate, if you go and you watch a lot of the progressive and even Republican YouTube channels and podcasts, if you go back and listen to them, like Kamala Harris is there. Everybody really thought that she was going to be tough and she was going to go down to the wire. And on the left, a lot of people thought that she was going to be the kind of take a lot of fire from Biden, become the establishment choice, and challenge Bernie Sanders. But it looks like Kamala Harris has just collapsed, and this is kind of she's been the senator from California, so she hasn't really had to have any really tough races. And when she did have a tough race, I think it was 2014, she barely won re-election, or it was either 2014 or 2010. One of those years she ran for attorney general, and it was close. It was, I believe it was in 5 points. Shouldn't be in California. So Kamala Harris is just not very battle tested outside of a liberal stronghold. And then when she gets into the fire against different progressive challengers and even moderate challengers, she had that one good moment, but now she's just utterly collapsed. And this is just really bad news for her, that even in a national poll that everybody is doing great against Trump, she's tied. So, and then in the states, she's doing the worst. So, and overall, this is probably good news for the president, that he's doing good in Florida, and that he's competitive in some of these states. So, I mean, that is good news for him, and it is going to be a close election. I wouldn't pay attention to any of these national presidential polls. I would pay attention to Florida, Ohio, Texas, um, Iowa, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, those state polls. That's what's important. So I would pay attention to those and really see what they're saying. And it's going to be a really close um, race, but it looks like, and that's what it's shaping up to be. So thank you guys so much. If you could like and subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank y'all and have a great day.